Nominations for Humber Student Federation elections ends today. The candidates have 2 weeks to campaign before Humber students begin voting. Current HSF President Ahmed Tahir is applying to rerun, but accepted nominations have not been released yet. Eunice Campsey has more information. Visit our website to learn all about it. The race starts February 22nd. Day 4 of the Ghomeshi trial has concluded. The focus was the cross-examination of actress Lucy Decatur. Ghomeshi's defense asked Decatur to explain her communications with Ghomeshi that took place after the alleged assault. Early this morning, before court was in session, a 19-year-old was arrested outside Old City Hall. The man was wielding a power tool and was shouting at the crowd. Skedline reporters Lauren Courtney and Aaron McLaren were out at City Hall during the incident.
You were here during an incident that took place before trial began this morning. Can you explain what happened?
Yeah, a young man came up just around 7 o'clock in the morning and started muttering threats using homophobic and other kinds of derogatory language. It was when he started muttering about a gun that he had and reached into his bag and pulled out a large power tool that Adam Miller from Global Online wrapped his arms around him and brought him to the ground, and then myself and another individual assisted in keeping him onto the ground for only a few minutes, and then police came and arrested him.
All right, thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Now head over to entertainment for entertainment news.
Thanks, Kristen. Here are your entertainment headlines for today. Bill Cosby suffered 2 defeats in court Wednesday evening. In addition to rejecting a bid to dismiss 3 counts of sexual assault against him, a Pennsylvania judge also turned down a request from Cosby's lawyers. They requested to remove newly elected Montgomery County District Attorney Kevin Steele from the case. Steele had campaigned on a prosecute Cosby platform, and the defense said he could not argue it fairly. A preliminary hearing will be held on March 8 to determine whether the prosecution has had enough evidence to win in front of a jury. If the new judge determines it does, the case will then move to a full-blown trial. Playboy offered a sneak peek at what the magazine's first non-issue will look like. Last fall, the company released that in March 2016, the issue will no longer contain images of fully nude women. The new issue shows women in provocative poses snapping pictures as if they were taking selfies on Snapchat. The first issue will feature social media star Sarah McDaniel and will be released next week. Maurice White, the founder of soul group Earth, Wind & Fire, has died at the age of 74. He died in his sleep in Los Angeles on Thursday morning. White suffered from Parkinson's disease. Earth, Wind & Fire, a 9-piece band, had a series of hits including September Boogie Wonderland, Shining Star, and After the Love Has Gone. They also sold more than 90 billion albums. Earth, Wind & Fire will be honored at the Grammy Awards on February 15. If you want to catch some of the new films this week, here's what's coming out. Pride and Prejudice and Zombies is a mashup of romance and zombies. Jane Austen's classic tale of a tangled relationship between lovers from different social classes in England is faced with a new challenge, an army of undead zombies. This film brings together many UK TV stars like Charles Dance from Game of Thrones, Lily James from Downton Abbey, and Matt Smith from Doctor Who. To continue with romance, another film, The Choice, will also be released this week. The cast includes Benjamin Walker and Teresa Palmer, who meet as neighbors in a small coastal town and wind up in a relationship that is tested by life's most defining events. If you're more onto the comedy side, Hail Caesar will be out this weekend. The latest Coen Brothers film is a musical set in 1950s Hollywood. Hail Caesar is a musical combination of comedy, drama, and mystery. The cast includes George Clooney as a kidnapped movie star, Scarlett Johansson as a mermaid, and Channing Tatum in a sailor suit. If you're looking for something to do in Toronto this weekend, we have La Poutine Week, where you pay just $10 to try a unique poutine dish from any participating restaurant around the city. Then you vote for your favorite poutine dish online. The Sheepdogs will be hitting the Danforth Music Hall tonight, following the release of their most recent album. It's Black History Month once again, so Kumba, a 3-day festival, will be showcasing the best artists of African heritage featuring music, film, and poetry. If you're interested in the event, it will take place at Harborfront Center. Super Bowl 50 between the Panthers and Broncos will be this Sunday. Toronto bars and restaurants are getting ready for the big event. Some places to watch the Super Bowl include the Drake Hotel, the Office Pub, the Hideout, Football Factory, Wayne Gretzky's, Spirits Bar and Grill, and the Ballroom. The battle for the Super Bowl is not just on the field. Dozens of advertisers are spending millions to reach the game's massive audience. Here's Camille Buenaventura with the story.
Thanks, Raven, and here is what's happening in sports. The Humber Hawks men's and women's basketball teams are in Ancaster, Ontario, to play the Redeemer University College teams today. The Humber badminton team will also play today in the OCAA West Regional with an undetermined opponent. And finally, the men's and women's volleyball teams are also playing in the Redeemer teams in Ancaster on Saturday afternoon. This Sunday marks the 50th Super Bowl in NFL history. The Carolina Panthers and Denver Broncos face off for the Lombardi Trophy to determine the season's best team. I spoke to TSN personality Cabral Richards about Cam Newton's legacy.
Well, I mean, I guess judging on the outcome, he'll be either viewed as like a leader and a champion, or I guess like for the people that don't like Cam Newton, they'll be like, yeah, see, I told you so. It's like the bad sportsmanship. It's like it serves him right. In the same way that Ronda Rousey has like terrible sportsmanship inside the octagon, doesn't shake opponents' hands and that sort of thing. When Holly Holm knocked her out, then people were like, yeah, you know, it serves her right. It's kind of that sort of thing. I think Cam Newton is an unbelievable quarterback, and any field that he steps on, he's the best athlete on the field. And we've never seen an athlete like that. Like his size, like he's bigger than a lot of defensive players. The guy's 6'5", and he runs like the wind.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, when people talk about like respecting the game and that sort of thing, it's not, I don't think it's a lack of respect to any game. It's just a style preference. Like some people are more exuberant than others. I heard Cam say with Michael Strahan, he goes, I've worked too damn hard not to be able to celebrate. Something to that regard. And the old school types that don't want players to celebrate or show any kind of emotion or personality, I get it, but that's just a style preference. That doesn't mean he's disrespecting the game. That's just what some people like as far as how exuberant they are.
You can check out more of that interview on skedline.com. Broncos quarterback Peyton Manning is appearing in his fourth and potential final Super Bowl, while leading MVP candidate Newton is in his first. The Panthers entered the game with the leading scoring offense and a strong defense, while the Broncos was top 5 scoring defense while they struggled offensively. Coldplay headlines the halftime show with assistance from Beyoncé and rumored artist Bruno Mars. The game airs live on CTV and CBS at 6:30 p.m. The Raptors continued their West Coast trip last night with a 110-103 victory over the Portland Trail Blazers. All-star guard Kyle Lowry led the team with 30 points and a career-high tying 7 threes. DeMar DeRozan added 29 points and 5 rebounds. Raptors big man Jonas Valanciunas contributed 14 points, 11 rebounds, and 2 blocks. Portland was led by high-scoring tandem Damian Lillard and C.J. McCollum. Lillard had 27 points and 11 assists, while McCollum had 21 points and 6 assists. Raptors play in Detroit versus the Pistons on Monday. The NBA has announced the participants for the All-Star Saturday night next week. Raptors guard Kyle Lowry is participating in his first three-point contest. He's joined by defending champ Stephen Curry, his Golden State teammate Klay Thompson, former Raptor forward Chris Bosh, Houston star James Harden, Milwaukee's Chris Middleton, LA Clipper J.J. Redick, and Phoenix rookie Devin Booker. Some top big men of the NBA will display their passing, shooting, and dribbling skills in the All-Star Challenge event, as their first big men have joined the field in its inception. Centers DeMarcus Cousins, Karl Anthony Towns, forwards Anthony Davis and Draymond Green. They are joined by 2015 winner Patrick Beverley, Isaiah Thomas, C.J. McCollum, and Jordan Clarkson. And for the marquee event of the night, the dunk contest, have recruited last year's champ Zach Levine, All-Star Andre Drummond, Aaron Gordon, and Will Barton. We will see if Levine can top the Space Jam dunk from last year. Toronto Maple Leafs hosted the New Jersey Devils last night and won 3-2 in shootout. Center Tyler Bozak had an assist and scored the game-tying goal in the last few minutes to send the game into overtime. P.A. Parento scored the only goal in the shootout and also added an assist. The Devils were led by forward Joseph Jacobson's 2 points. 3 Leafs all shared big accomplishments on the game as well. Nassim Kadri played in his 300th game, Captain Dion Phaneuf played in his 800th game, and Coach Mike Babcock appeared in his 1,000th game. The Leafs next play on Saturday in Ottawa against the Senators. Rookie sensation Connor McDavid continued his high-level play, leading the Edmonton Oilers to victory over the Ottawa Senators 7-2. McDavid had 2 assists, including helping on the game winner. McDavid's linemate Jordan Eberle scored 2 goals and added an assist. All but 4 players had at least 1 point, and 5 forwards had 2 points. Ottawa's goal scorers were forwards Mike Hoffman and Matt Stone. Ottawa captain Erik Karlsson's 2 assists adds to his league-leading total. Edmonton continues their road trip in Montreal for Hockey Day in Canada. The Blue Jays have added 2 experienced arms in their bullpen. They signed right-hander David Arzma to a minor league deal. The 34-year-old played for Atlanta Braves in 30 and 2/3 innings last season with a 4.70 ERA. The Jays also reached a deal with right-hander Gavin Floyd. Floyd played for the Indians last year in only 13 1/3 innings after recovering from an injury. And sad news to pass at this point, BMX superstar David Mara has died. The 41-year-old is a legend in the X Games. He has won 24 career medals between 1995 and 2008. Police found his body in a truck in Grenville, North Carolina. Police say Mara died after apparently shooting himself. He leaves behind his wife and 2 daughters. That's it for sports. I am Lloyd Quanta for skedline.com. Here's Camille and Reedy with the weather update.
Hi, I'm Camille Buenaventura doing today's weather. We're looking at a warm start to the weekend, and today we have mostly cloudy skies and a high of 2 degrees in the afternoon and a low of 0 in the evening. Let's see what everyone else has to say about the weather.
Well, the weather is pretty weird outside. I'm not going to lie, I was expecting a lot of snow during February the 5th, but clearly it's like spring weather, so I don't know, this guy might have a really different take to it, but...
Yeah, I like this weather. I currently work outside as a carpenter, so it's amazing. I can still get the chance to work. Kind of sucks. I wish I could do more skiing this year, but there's always next year.
You know, it's a little windy. Snow's coming down nice. The weather's warm, though, so it's really good. Other than that, it's really good. This weekend's going to be great. I can't complain. It's not too cold, not too much snow, so yeah.
Now for the weekly forecast, let's check in with Reedy.
Thanks, Camille. For your 5-day weather forecast, we're starting off with a pretty sunny weekend, and into the middle of next week it starts to get pretty cold. Temperatures drop quite significantly. On Saturday, we're looking at a high of 3 and a low of -1. On Sunday, a high of 5 and a low of 0. On the Monday, we've got a high of 1 and a low of -1. Tuesday, a high of 2 and a low of -3. And on Wednesday, it gets really cold. We've got a low of -9 and a high of -2. This was your 5-day weather forecast. I'm Reedy Mangat for Skedlive.
Thanks, guys. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has hosted the Big City Mayors Caucus and 6 cabinet members in Ottawa the past 2 days. The talks focused on the infrastructure funding promised during the election. Earlier in the week, Trudeau said that Alberta will receive $70 million in infrastructure funds within the month to protect the economy from the falling oil prices. Toronto will be receiving $10 billion within the next 2 years. This morning, Trudeau held a news conference on Parliament Hill after the meeting concluded. Canada's unemployment rate has risen to its highest level since October of 2012. In January, Alberta had 40,000 layoffs in the oil industry due to the low oil prices. Alberta's unemployment rate rose from 7 to 7.4%, bringing the nationwide total to 7.2%. Unemployment rates in Alberta have not been this high since 1984. More secret emails about Flint's tainted water have been discovered between high-ranking Michigan state officials. The emails date back to March of 2015. Noting the increase of the presence of Legionnaire's virus, a waterborne virus, in Genesee County water. Governor Rick Schneider claims the link between the Flint water and the increase in Legionnaire's disease was not brought to his attention until January of this year. Legionnaire's disease has been the cause of 10 deaths and affected 77 other residents since October of last year. One person is dead after a New York City crane collapsed on West Broadway this morning. The collapse has been attributed to high winds. New York Mayor Bill de Blasio has ordered all cranes to be put into safety position while the police investigate the collapse. A gold mine collapse in South Africa on Friday left 90 workers trapped below. 87 miners have been rescued while 3 are still unaccounted for. The entrance to the mine collapsed when the crown pillar was damaged, possibly by a sinkhole. The area has been evacuated while the rescue continues. The rescued miners had no serious injuries but were taken to the local hospital. The United Kingdom announced that it will take steps to keep Zika from its borders. Planes traveling from Zika-infected countries to the UK will be sprayed with insecticide upon arrival. Although there's still confusion about how the Zika virus is spread, mosquitoes are thought to be the primary transmission source. British airplanes are already sprayed to destroy any mosquitoes carrying malaria. The German spy agency, BFV, claims it thwarted an ISIS attack on Friday. Agency chief Hans-Georg Maassen said that he received over 100 tip-offs about Islamic State fighters among the refugees currently in Germany. German authorities arrested 2 men suspected to have links to Islamic State militants that were planning an attack on Berlin. Well, that's all for now. I'm Kristen Nikas. Have a great weekend.